Read it.
Huh.
You don't read it.
What's that for?
Because your picture's going crazy. I don't know how you're not found it.
Nancy there? Hello.
Hello.
I'm here, Commissioner. Yep, we're live. I'm streaming. How can
I
I
see
help?
you, Nancy. Hi.
Hi, Commissioner.
I don't have a picture up there, but I got your picture.
Where you want to make those sticks?
We need to have a quorum. It's really up to Commissioner Field. Let's just start.
Okay.
So we do
Is
have,
that him?
yep, this is Commissioner Field. We do have a quorum. So
He's muted right now, but he can unmute himself. Although
I can certainly go on.
Vince, I see you, but I don't have a picture up there for myself.
Okay. Can I have Sergeant Carly Erasmus give you a call?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, myself. Hold on, I gotta find myself. I don't have the cell with me, Nancy.
Here it is. Here it is. It's right here. Ah. Your cell is right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Commissioner, I will have
we're working on.
Sergeant Carly call you right now.
My cell number. Hey, Tom, you there?
I see you, Matt.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Matt.
The video? Okay, I have to help him find this because I don't remember.
No.
I don't know where that is.
Mm.
Try that there.
Do you have it?
Does it show a little screen? Sorry, we're not good at this.
Hey, Commissioner, how you doing?
Okay, they're gonna call you back in a minute. I don't know what's going on here. Let me see if I can get there.
There you go.
Commissioner Kumanado.
I
Aye. Can you see all of us?
see you right now. You're in
Okay.
charge?
Yeah, I guess I am. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I see you having some technical difficulties there, but you can hear me though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and call this commissioners to order. Roll call of commissioners.
Thank you.
You gotta take off yourself. I think you're on mute, Tom.
Lyons,
Yes,
You got Kumanado over there, right, Mr. Kumanado?
did you hear me?
Commissioner Kumanado?
Here.
All right. All right, so I guess we could do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
Strange, but if you want to start, Commissioner Diaz, you look.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, thank you. We'll observe a moment of silence for Officer Leroy Lawson, who passed away on Sunday, February 23rd, 2020. Okay. Lieutenant O'Donnell,
Yes, sir.
other people will pass too, right? This is the only one we have for our list.
Yes, we had a recent passing of Sergeant Judith Gaudet Tesla on July 9th, and the passing of Lieutenant Mike DiCarlo on July 14th, and the passing of Officer Mike Kalajian as well on July 14th.
Okay.
We have just one widow's pension for Mrs. Lawson tonight, and one other pending matter that I'll be discussing in my clerk's report with you tonight.
Okay. All right, so if we can observe a moment of silence for those officers as well. Okay.
Commissioner Farrell, I will have those other passings noted in a formal meeting for August.
Thank you. At this time, I'll accept the motion for the acceptance of the minutes for the regular board meeting held on June 16th, 2020.
So moved.
I got someone moved as Diaz and Commissioner Lyons. Is that, you seconded it?
second,
Okay, thank you. That's fine. And now we have the chief. Good evening, chief.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Chief. How are you?
I'm doing well. A little warm, but I'm okay. I like it warm. So I'd like to begin with some statistics for crime. The week ending of the 26th. So it's July 12th, 2020. And what he's telling me is that we're down 0.63% for the year, which is good news. There's a lot of good stuff happening. Bad news is that last year we had 9 homicides. This year we have 10. Last year we had 49 persons shot. This year we got 63. Those numbers are alarming, and so we took a good look at what's going on the streets. And I'm going to report on the homicides next, but we have a number of identify a number of hot spots and places where we have placed police officers almost 24 hours a day, as well as Connecticut State Police officers working in conjunction with our officers. The criminal intelligence places the bulk of the crime over on PT and over on Green Homes. Well, I'll discuss that in a little bit. I'm going to start with a homicide that happened back in 1983. Quite remember this one because 93, because I remember the gentleman. Teddy, he worked at Dutchess by the rink there, and a gentleman wanted to rob the establishment, so he hid inside the bathroom. There was another guy in a car outside just waiting for him. They were going to rob the manager. However, they mistimed it, and when they got in there, it was just Teddy, and they shot and they killed him. Well, guess what? We've been working on this for a long time, and Chris LeMaine did a fantastic job on this case, and we arrested the individual, Darius Dukes, back in July 2nd. So I was very happy. And we also arrested another individual, the name escapes, who was the driver that night. You know, Teddy didn't deserve to go that way. Hopefully he's got some justice. There was another homicide arrest, and this was also on June 2nd. Jonathan Dawson was shot and killed inside a vehicle in Bridgeport. He was driven by Jefton Brown and dumped over on East Line. Again, Detective Bureau, U.S. Marshals, fantastic job on this case. We were able to apprehend Mr. Brown in Fairmouth, Massachusetts, the Cape. So he's in custody and he's going to go away for a long time. So that homicide was also taken care of. On June 22nd, 2020, about 10:45, there was a call, shots fired. 750 Williams Street. Police arrived with immediacy, and they discovered a 52-year-old man shot multiple times. At the time, we really didn't know who he was. People there were very, very intoxicated. However, they're making good progress on this case, and I believe that there's a warrant that's being submitted to the court, and hopefully there'll be an arrest on this case. This was a bunch of guys that were just drinking, and they got mad at each other, and one of them pulled out a gun and shot the other one, killed him. Also, a very sad one, June 22nd, a young man, 18 years old, was shot multiple times by individuals operating a certain kind of vehicle. We recovered a vehicle, and we have 2 warrants on file as we speak for the murder of Mr. Stimson, God rest his soul. The next day, on the 23rd, June 23rd, was his birthday. This one here really touched our hearts. But we got justice for him. On, June 25th, we also had on the 527 Huntington Road, 21-year-old male was shot and killed. Tyler Blue, also shot, and by the grace of God, none of them were serious. 3 other persons, a young man and 2 young ladies. This homicide was in retaliation to the previous one that I just mentioned. By the way, what I didn't mention was that evening on the 22nd, around, it's like 4:30 in the afternoon, we had shots fired on Harrow Avenue. A young lady pushing a baby's carriage. She's 13 years old. She took a bullet to the side. She was, again, by the grace of God, she was okay. There was also a young man that was shot in the leg. This one also was in retaliation to the homicide that occurred on Albion Street. Let's see. So on the Ballou case, we were able to identify the 2 individuals responsible, and they both confessed to the homicide of this young man. So the Detective Bureau are doing a great job with all these cases. Hopefully they'll make an announcement soon. The last one is, this is homicide number 10. Tian Kelly. This is a dispute among friends in PT, and he was shot. We know the individual. Harold Dimble was able to identify who the individual is through his informant, and we ourselves served a warrant on an apartment, and we were able to capture the what do they call it, the DVD or the recorder,
DVR.
the DVR. I'm sorry, the DVR, and with a very clear picture. So we'll be making an arrest on this fairly quick. So needless to say, we were pretty alarmed, and this is why we have the details on the A shift, B shift, and C shift. On the B shift, doesn't cost me anything because I use the SROs, and I have them in PT, Green Homes, Trumbull Avenue, and one guy walking on Stratford Avenue. On the C shift, it costs me a little bit, but I have PT Barnum with the State Police, Green Homes, Trumbull Avenue, Stratford Avenue with the State Police, as well as East Main and Arctic. That's another hot spot. A lot of shots fired over there. Recover a couple of guns just this week alone. We have one officer, by the way, that has tested positive for COVID. I'm just looking at the file here. And he's recovering, and hopefully he'll be all right. On the A shift, I covered the detail until 4 o'clock in the morning. So I start at 8 o'clock at night, and I go to 4 o'clock in the morning every day so far. And so far, knock on wood, we calm things down a little bit. We're making a lot of arrests, working with, and I'll go into it in a minute, working with the FBI and the Justice Department. They adopted a certain case emanating out of Trumbull Gardens. But I want to talk a little bit about parks. And I know I'm going fast, but I don't want to keep guys waiting here all night. The parks detail is going very, very well. A lot of attention to detail. When it rains or it's cloudy and it's bad, we have minimum manpower, maybe 1 or 2 officers. When the weather is good, like it was this weekend, I was there. I checked the detail. They ended up closing the park, and I tell you, I got to give credit to the people in Bridgeport. There were no fights, there were no arguing, there were no fussing. Someone waited over 3 hours to get into that park, and everything, not a single problem in the parks. So again, knock on wood, that's going well. I have a class coming up. It was approved by the mayor's office, a class of 22 officers. Hopefully it will start in September, but I'll brief you at the next meeting. The other thing that we're doing is the department is currently going through CLEF's, Connecticut Law Enforcement Standards and Practices audit from POST. The audit entails 16 policies the department currently has. The department not only has to show POST that they have the policies in place, which we have, but that we are currently following the mandates that are listed in these policies. Last year, we became the first of the large cities to receive this approval, and that goes a long way for us. Means that people here are doing a good job. They're paying attention to detail. This is a major accomplishment for the department and the beginning of becoming accredited through the state of Connecticut. So that's a feather in our hats. The protests, the COVID, and the details are killing me. They're costing me a lot of money. Just the protests alone, is costing me about $400,000 in overtime since it all began. COVID, it's about $100,000. I don't have the numbers for the other details, but we're paying attention and we're trying to do our due diligence here. The courthouse shooting, it's being worked by the Detective Bureau with the FBI and the Justice Department. The Justice Department has adopted the case. So the good thing is that we have some really, really good officers in narcotics. Officer Mark Blackwell and Mike Paoletti received information that there were 2 individuals in a gray Mazda with Tennessee Reg, and they were out to commit a homicide. They were going to go and kill somebody. These guys were from Trumbull Gardens, and they were down by the east end, the east side, looking just to shoot an individual, just to kill somebody. We were able to locate the individuals. We boxed them in. We identified one of them as Taran Farr, Pharr, and the other one is Jaylene Wilson. This was a interesting case. We were listening to this. It happened in the afternoon. Officer did a fantastic job. Used a lot of restraint. These individuals were running, and we knew that they were in possession of a firearm. We recovered 3 firearms, a high-capacity magazine, and quite a lot of drugs. I wish I was in person to show you this stuff. They did a fantastic job. The one thing that was clear afterwards, the officers were not afraid of, they were more afraid of having to use their guns on an individual to shoot somebody, especially these days. It's you're going to have protests all over the place, and they were afraid. They said, "Chief, our biggest fear was that we were going to have to shoot one of them if they open fire on us." I said, "It's a reality. It's a sign of the times. Use your judgment. Be guided by the policy and be guided by your instincts." So it was an interesting debriefing the next day. This particular case is part of that courthouse, which is tied into Green Homes, which is tied into PT. So in the East End. So that's the bottom line on everything that we're doing. Your police department commissioners are doing a great job. We're not perfect, but these guys are paying attention. It's not like in other cities, the statue, the Columbus statue. We err in the side of caution, and it was taken down. There's no issues over there. There's nobody's getting hurt. Who knows? Maybe in the future it can be put back. I don't know. Not my call. But PD is doing a fantastic job. Cronus is doing well, and so is Project Longevity with Harold Dimble, and now Phil Sharp, who's in charge, taking the reins of Project Longevity. And I tell you, they're going 100 miles an hour. They're doing a great job. You have any questions for me?
Now you can ask.
Can you hear me, Chief?
Yes, sir.
I want to let you know about that homicide at Marazzi's. I don't want credit, but I was the sergeant on that, and Bill Perez was lead detective, and we tried to get that passed, and they wouldn't pass it. They said, well, I can't go into detail on why, but anyway, I was very happy when it came through. Just because they retired, that was on my mind all the time. I could ask anybody. But anyway, we got it through, and I'm glad it's done.
I remember we used to eat there all the time. We knew Teddy. We knew who the guy was, and to come in there and see him murder like that, man. That they shot him and they just left him there. The next day somebody came. Well, better than me. You were there. It was just for me. It was great when they arrested this guy, and then the other guy, the driver. They arrested him too.
I tell you, me and Billy Perez, we were never so happy when they signed that. Just because we retired don't mean we weren't thinking of it,
Oh, no. It stays with us, right, Commissioner? Always.
Yep, that's it. Well, thank you anyway.
Thank you.
Commissioner Diaz, do you have any questions for the chief?
No, thank you, Chief. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. Anna, you there? Mr. Cruz? Commissioner Cruz, I see your on the screen. She's on mute, I guess. Thank you, Chief. I just had a quick question, though. You said we had 9 homicides last year, and we're up to 10 already this year,
Yes, sir. Correct.
and we're mid-year. What do you, I mean, do you have any concerns about an uptick in violent crime? I mean, I know you said there's more shootings, and more people got shot this year. Any concerns, any understanding of why that might be at this time?
Yeah, it's not unique to Bridgeport. New Haven's got 12 as we speak, and I think Hartford's got either 14 or 16. So what I did was I met with the command staff and we put a plan together. We are spending a little bit of money, but we're keeping the city safe. This is a war that it's never going to go away. These are kids who do not, and I hate to say this, because I remember the first time I heard it, I didn't like it, I still don't like it. They don't care about their lives or the lives of others. The last 2 that I mentioned, they were, I mean, heavily armed, and they were out to just hunt, to shoot somebody, just because they were from the east side or from the East End. And these guys are from Trumbull Garden. There was an alliance between Trumbull and Green Homes. But that's taken a little bit of a hit after the Blue incident, where somebody posted in real time where Blue and this other group of individuals were. And the guys from PT came, shot him. They wanted to kill everybody that was there. The 2 girls took hits to the side of the head. Thank God it was just just rubbed the side of their heads. But the other male took a hit to his stomach, and again, to the grace of God, he survived. So it's all intertwined, and this is why we're working with the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI. We got the DEA working on this. There are a lot of moving parts, and I'm going to be hopefully in August when we meet. Hopefully we'll meet in person, because I hate these things, but I like to see people's faces. I'm going to have better news for you. I am using every resource available to me to keep the city of Bridgeport safe.
All right, thank you, Chief, for your time. Commissioner Cruz? Commissioner Cruz? Your microphone's off. I don't know why I can't hear you. I assume we don't have anyone from the union to speak, Lieutenant?
No, Sergeant Seeley is on vacation, sir. He respectfully, asked me to notify you.
Okay, thank you. Nothing for internal affairs?
I received the monthly report from Lieutenant Llanos, and I did send that to you
Right.
For your review.
Okay, so he's not present. All right. So it looks like we don't have any new business unless you have something, Lieutenant, you want to raise, bring up.
Yes, commissioners, I just have one item that was brought to my attention at 5 o'clock today. We had the recent passing of retired Lieutenant Mike DiCarlo on July 14th. Upon notification of my office, I immediately send the required documentation to the widow. It was sent via email immediately. I had informed her that the documents, need to be filled out with a death certificate. If she could possibly get this back to me by July 21st, I could add it to the agenda for hopefully approval by the Board of Police Commissioners. I did receive the packet today through the mail, but there was no death certificate. I immediately contacted her and I said, based on City of Bridgeport policy and what is required of my office and the Board of Police Commissioners, that we need a death certificate. She tried to obtain one today, but was unable to. The medical examiner's office has not signed off on it yet, but will be doing so. She just indicated to me tomorrow. I reached out to our pension administrator just to advise the board on this matter. She cannot give, advice. She referred me to the city attorney, Attorney Matola. Regarding these matters, when I bring a widow's pension before the board, I'm always asked, are all of the papers in order? That's based on pulling the retirement file, what type of pension it was, putting it together in a package, which includes 3 copies of the application as well as the death certificate. I cannot, say right now that this is a complete package. That's why it is not on the agenda or placed as, an addendum for tonight's meeting for approval. Mrs. DiCarlo just left a message in my office stating that the death certificate would be, sent to me immediately tomorrow. What's important about the death certificate is it indicates, the type of, how did the individual, pass away, which is related to his directly related pension. So right now, as soon as I get the complete package, she was pleading with me because of financial concerns of getting this approved without the death certificate. My recommendation would be upon me receiving the death certificate and upon the approval of the board, we could call a special meeting early next week to, to get this approved.
Commissioners, any questions about what Lieutenant O'Donnell's talking about?
No, I don't have any questions. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I apologize. I'm using a different computer and I couldn't get the mic going, so I had to call in.
Oh, no worries.
Anyway, but I don't have any questions. Thank you for that information, Lieutenant.
You're very welcome, ma'am. Would we be able to, upon the complete application received in my office, can we schedule possibly a special meeting to deal with this item early next week?
I understand the urgency, and I'd like to do that if the other commissioners would oblige or are agreeable to that. Clearly, we can't approve this evening without the death certificate, so it makes sense that this the next possible time that we could do it, we should do it. Do the other commissioners have any problems with doing a special meeting to get that thing approved?
No,
No, not at all.
not at all.
You have their vote there.
I'm available next week, except for Friday.
Commissioners, can I ask what would be available a great date? Would the 27th or the 28th?
Either day is fine.
Wednesday is always good for me.
The Tuesday, you said?
Wednesday, they changed my day, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
Tuesday or Wednesday will work for me, either or.
How is July 28th for, again, we need 4 commissioners for a quorum?
Mhm.
I'm available Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm available Tuesday.
Lieutenant, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Sir.
This officer or Mike DiCarlo, do you have a birthday for him by any chance?
Yes, I do.
Really quick.
Just give me a moment.
Yeah, I'm only asking because it's a personal question. I remember Michael DiCarlo when we were young that went to Holy Rosary, played basketball. He's pretty good.
Yes, his date of birth is December 1st, 1935.
Oh, no, he's older. All right, not a problem. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You sure that's not the same one, Hector? Are you trying to?
No. 1935 would have been my dad. Thank you, though. Thank you. Maybe it's his dad. Maybe it's the guy I thought was the father.
All right. Commissioner Cumanado, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I'm all set with that, those dates.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And Tom, you're okay with the 28th as well?
Yep. Yep.
And so you have it, Lieutenant.
And I just have a question for Sergeant Razum and his availability to assist us in a another Zoom meeting, special meeting for that date.
Mhm. His mic is actually shut off, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, excuse me, commissioners, I have Sergeant Razum on my telephone. Yes,
Mhm.
sir. Okay, thank you. Yep, I'll make you available for the 28th. Thank you. Yes, Sergeant Razum and Carly are available for a meeting on the 28th. So I will plan for a special meeting pending the receiving the death certificate for Lieutenant DiCarlo.
Perfect.
Thanks, Lieutenant. Anything else? New business?
Did you
Yep.
say you only needed 4 commissioners for next Tuesday? It seems like there are 5 of us available. Is that a
That's
problem?
No, ma'am, I just need 4 for a quorum to hold a meeting. So I will invite all of the commissioners.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And that's it for new business, Lieutenant?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I am just waiting on a location to continue our Barrows discipline cases.
Oh, good.
We'll bring that up again at the end. Old business, we have a request from Reverend Penwell Garcia to address the board regarding the traffic request for installation of a stop on Soundview Avenue and Yarmouth Drive. Reverend?
Good evening, everyone. Once again, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Once again, I'm coming before you with this situation of the change of the bus stop from Ryan to Soundview Avenue. I mean, I could see it's on your agenda for approval of the signs already, but I would like you to hear me out once again. Presently on Ryan Street, it is where the bus stops now. They want to change the bus stop around the corner to Soundview Avenue. Where the bus stops presently, there doesn't interfere with anyone or anything. On Soundview Avenue, we have people that park their cars on that street. On Ryan Avenue, Ryan Street, no one parks their cars because they have off-street parking. And so that street is open for the buses to stop without interfering with anyone. Changing the bus stop from Ryan to Soundview, although it's just around the corner, we have seniors who live on the Stone Ridges. It directly affect their living space, which is right in front of that spot where they want to change the bus to. Changing the bus stop from Ryan to Soundview, I don't think anyone has thought of the school that's up on the hill, Holland Street. These children walk down Soundview Avenue. Lots of them walk in the middle of the street. Now, if you park a bus on Soundview and then you're going to take off from a park position, you got to make a left turn to Ryan. I think there's more chance of one of these children getting hurt instead of keeping the bus stop on Ryan Street, where most of the children have already gone into the Stone Ridges area that go to that school, and they're not walking in the middle of the street there. The bus stop on Ryan Street gives you a clear view of the intersection. If you were to change that bus stop from Ryan to Soundview, if you're going down Soundview, it blocks the view of Yarmouth Drive. If you're coming down Yarmouth Drive, it blocks the view of Soundview. More of a chance to have a problem. And we all know from previous discussions way back when we talked about a one-way, two-way there, that corner is a corner where when it snows, it's a very slippery corner. Lots of cars get stuck there. So what chance parking the bus and trying to go into a situation that would cause a slippery situation? I believe that if you change the bus stop from Ryan Street to Soundview Avenue, you're going to create an unsafe condition. Also, the Tuesday nights tonight is a garbage night. The garbage cans are placed on that Soundview Avenue side. The proposal is to do a 50 feet, no parking zone or anything, but the bus will be there where the garbage cans are. So you're interfering, with even the garbage cans. I have not heard any good reason, or no one, at least I've seen on any of the paperwork, any good reason to change it. And I'm requesting you guys look at this very carefully. Ryan Street is the perfect spot for that bus to stop. Both north and south, they both park on Ryan Street. Soundview Avenue going west to Ryan Street going south is a very bad spot to have a bus stop there. So I'm requesting that you really consider not approving this, because it's just going to cause a dangerous situation for students, for children, uncomfortable situation for seniors, and it just doesn't make sense, at least in our eyes, in the Stone Ridges.
Again, I like to intercept and add to that I know exactly both corners that he's referring to, and it's unfortunate that they don't provide a justification why even the change. Why from one end of the street to around the corner, they would decide to pull up there when they're taking away parking spaces, the garbage, as he's indicated, and it's really blocking the entire street where there's more traffic versus the other corner where there's no parking at all. So I guess we're supposed to vote, and I just wondered, we haven't heard anything differently as to why that changed, but I would agree to keep it as the way it is.
Do we know who asked for this change?
Yes, the Greater Transit Company did put in the request several months ago, Commissioner Diaz.
Okay.
I'm curious as to when he stops there on Soundview, Reverend Garcia, is he making the left turn anyway to go down that street, or is he going elsewhere? Maybe it's more convenient for the bus driver.
When the bus goes down Soundview, there is a stop sign there. He has to stop to make the turn, but he's not coming from a park situation to make a left-hand turn. When he's going down now, going westbound on Soundview, he's in the middle of the street already, and everybody has to pull aside to let the bus go by. So he's already got control of the street, but he's not coming from a park situation where somebody may not expect the bus to pull out. And I know it's the onus of being a bus driver and pulling out into an intersection is on them, but if we can eliminate that one little situation, it may save a life in the future.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree. There are no parked cars on Ryan Street, and the street seems wider as a result, so he's not interfering with any traffic whatsoever. He's going to be pulled up right near the sidewalk, so kids can get back on.
And where the bus picks.
It also makes it convenient for the students to even sit on. There's like a wall, am I correct? And staircase that they can sit under trees, in the shade if necessary, or away from the rain or snow. Yeah, versus the other side.
Yeah, on Ryan Street, where the bus stops now on Ryan Street, they stops as it makes a left-hand turn and it stops on Ryan Street. He's far enough down on Ryan Street where when he has to take off again, he can continue straight because there are no cars in front of him. And like Commissioner Cruz said, there's a wall there and shaded area for people to stand behind, even when it's raining, it protects them right on Ryan. On Soundview, you don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, other commissioners have questions?
I think he's been pretty good about answering them.
I have a question.
Questions I had.
Commissioner Farrell?
Go ahead, Commissioner Lyons.
What is Greater Bridgeport's reasoning for moving this? Is there a definitive, like, what do they see the upside being to moving this?
Yeah, that's the primary question. We don't have a reason. Or we don't know the reason. I'm sure there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, to move it without a reason doesn't sound logical. Just because doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, to me,
Right.
merit a change, because we want it. I mean, if I would have thought maybe one of the representatives, like a council person, would have approached the board and at least, submitted a plan, and this is why we're doing this. And, of course, we understand what Reverend Garcia is saying, which makes sense.
Yeah.
If I may interject also, the bus stop going northbound on Ryan Street, they didn't propose changing that one, only the one going southbound on Ryan. So, there's a bus stop both directions on Ryan Street at the present time, and they're only proposing to change one. So, without knowing what their reasoning is, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that if anybody knows how we do this or how we do the signs or anything that has to do with any of this traffic situations, the bus company would know that they would have to approach us with this, or have to be, at some point we would be approached. So maybe they're missing the mark until I would at this point vote with Mr. Garcia simply on the fact that he's here. He's arguing his point, and we don't know anything about the other point. Not sure if I'm hearing you. Are you speaking?
I don't think anyone's speaking.
Oh, okay. I heard something in the background. I don't know. But I just believe that the bus company should have had a representative contact us, or at least contact the lieutenant and give them an idea of what they're trying to do. And if they're not, then maybe this will teach them that in the future they need to do that.
If I may add, I'm
Okay.
looking at the letter from Powell, the traffic engineer. And it's saying that it was a request of Representative GBT to review bus stop installation at Soundview and Yermish Drive intersection. And the bus stop is proposed to be installed along westbound South Avenue approach the intersection. The applicant also requests approval of a no parking zone at the bus stop. Now, here's the next paragraph. Based on our review, the requested bus stop can be installed, which tells me that Powell says that it works by their math, but it's not saying why.
Right. So do we put this off, or do we table it again to find the to discover what the justification behind this is?
I wouldn't. I think we should bring it to a vote against it, and let them resubmit if they'd like. They know they need to come to us. They know they need to come to us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They're not new. This isn't a new bus company. This is a bus company that's been around for as long as I have, and I think.
Yeah, I agree.
At some point, we're gonna have to let people know that we're a commission that is actually doing the work of the city or the work of the people. And that they need to come up to us and follow the same things that everybody else does.
I agree with Hector. They're saying, Powell's saying that the move works by engineering design and opinion, but it's not saying why. So why should we?
Yeah.
Commissioner Cominato?
Well, it seems, I'm sorry, it seems like zoning has, was up in arms the last time we made a decision when we were in disagreement with a suggestion that they made, because they do their homework and their research, and, it's a big, commitment or sacrifice that they make with the short staff that they have. But in this case, you can't make a recommendation and then not justify why you're making the move.
I agree. Reverend Garcia came to us this evening and says all the reasons why it wouldn't make a good move. And that's what I'm hearing.
Commissioner Cominato, did you have anything?
I don't know, on another location, I have to go up and take a look at it, see what the road talking about.
So
Well, I personally went there and met Reverend Garcia. I wanted to know what he was referencing, and it really doesn't make any sense to make that move.
okay, so it sounds like what I'm hearing is, not that we're making a vote right now, but it sounds like you're disposed to denying the recommendation of the engineering department and things as they are now. That's what it sounds like. You have anything else you want to add, Garcia?
No, I think I've said everything, and any questions I'll be free to answer. I've lived here for 46 years, so I know the neighborhood pretty good.
I'd like to, if I could, just again, really quick. It says, also reading the letter from Powell, it explains why it could happen. It doesn't say it should happen. I guess it's recommended. On the top, it says it's recommended, but it doesn't say anywhere in the letter where they recommend that we make this change. So again, I put the onus on the Greater Bridgeport Transit for not contacting us or giving us an idea of what it is they're trying to do there.
I agree. They're saying that it could work, but not why.
Okay,
Okay.
I guess we can move on from there. Thank you so much, Reverend Garcia.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you,
good day.
Reverend.
Thank you. You're welcome to hang out with us
Thank
until we get to that.
Okay.
vote.
Thanks.
All right. No correspondence, no letters of appreciation. All right. Number 8, we've got a widow's pension. Request for Mrs. Tommy Lawson to receive a widow's pension effective immediately. A.
Commissioner Farrow, paperwork is in order on out of my office.
Thank you. Anybody like to make a recommendation or a motion?
So moved.
Who was that? Oh, Commissioner Diaz. Can I get a second?
Second.
We've got a lot of seconds there. All right. All in favor? All right. Comunado, you don't want to go by?
I'm sorry, I was reading yeah.
All right. We're moving to accept the request of Mrs. Tommy Lawson to receive a widow's pension effective immediately.
So moved.
Second.
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 Oh, we already have. All right, so that passes. And then we have number 9, request of the city engineer's office to approve the following traffic requests. And so number 1, the installation of a handicap parking sign at 300 Bronx Avenue. Number 2, the installation of crosswalks at the Cardinal Sheen Center, 149 Main Street and Lumber Street. Number 3, the installation of a no parking anytime zone at Southwest Community Health Center. That's at 6 Albion Street. And number 4, no action required. It says 30-minute parking, 2039 Fairfield Avenue, Route 130. Route 130 says no action, so I'm not sure why it's here, but number 5, the installation of a bus stop with no parking bus stop zone, westbound Soundview Avenue approach to Yarmouth Drive. 5. So
I move that we combine the first four, and vote as one on that.
I agree.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And as to number 5, 9A5.
I vote against.
I move to deny the recommendation of the city engineer on item number 5.
I'll second.
Moved and properly second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, 9B, requested the city engineer's office not to approve the following traffic request. That is, number one, the installation of a traffic control signal at Barnum Avenue and Hallett Street. Now, this is the one we tabled last meeting. And I guess, I don't know, Commissioner Roach was going to communicate with someone. I know you guys have your own personal feelings about what should happen here. So if you want to discuss it, I'll go ahead and take some discussion, communication. Had some, I'm familiar with the area. I'm familiar with it as well. I mean, it's asking for a traffic control signal. And I guess, Lieutenant, can you tell me exactly what they mean by that? Because I'm not sure if they're talking about a stoplight or just some flashing lights or.
Yeah, it could be in the way of lights, or it could be in the way of stop signs, some type of stop control of traffic, either via lights or signs, Commissioner.
But it's talking about stopping, not necessarily a caution light or anything like that. It's just.
No, just some type of traffic control or stop control device.
Commissioner Diaz?
I like I said before, I know there's a lot of traffic there in the morning because of the kids going to school, and they do have crossing guards. But I would have been I would be comfortable with a light there. I have no problem waiting for Commissioner Roach and finding out what he found out for us. I don't know, but it is concerning to have that whole stretch. The closest light, I think, is the one on East Main and the one at the bottom at Seaview. I don't know if there's a light in between that. And it would make sense because they do pick up speed in that little area. And at night, if it gets really dark around there too. So I could see why they would want a light. I don't know why the city engineers would say that it wasn't necessary.
I agree with Commissioner Diaz. It's a sprint from Seaview. I'm looking at Google Maps right here, all the way to East Main. I don't even know if there's a stop sign anywhere between Seaview
There
and.
isn't.
There's one on Pembroke, is that Pembroke? Yeah, there's one on Pembroke, but that's it.
But I don't think it stops that traffic flow.
No, not going long ways, not going long ways. It's on the sides.
All right.
You're right.
Anybody else want to weigh in on this one? So my only concern is like it was mentioned previously, I believe it was Councilperson Valle, right? Who came to us with this?
Yes, correct,
It's
sir.
her district. It's her district, yeah.
Right. And so during the day, I know there's a lot going on there with the building. There's the schools there. There's a lot of foot traffic during the day. In the evening, though, it's like a ghost town over there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do people speed? I guess so. It's a straightaway with no stop signs out there at night. And so my concern is the daytime more so than the evening. I don't know if anybody would want to necessarily get stopped. Like you said, it's dark. It's not well lit.
Mm-hmm. You have a truck training school right around there too, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
That comes in and out of there, or school bus training or whatever. But I think that's pretty active during the day too. So there is traffic and foot traffic. So I could see why it would be a concern during the day. Again, at night, it's not a block that I would want to stop at late at night.
And that's what I'm thinking about. So I'm wondering how that would work. I mean, even if you have a stop sign, right? At night, it's not like you're sitting there at a stop light, right? So if there's if there's a stop sign somewhere, I guess that's not too bad, right? Stop for us.
Mm-hmm.
At a red light waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for whatever to happen, right?
I think you're better off with a stop sign than traffic, like you said, at night, no traffic late at night. For a stop sign, probably be more beneficial than stuff on it.
Commissioner Cruz? Technical problem? Commissioner Lyons?
Sorry, I thought it was off. I'm talking to myself. I said I agree with Commissioner Kuminati on the stop sign
Yeah,
versus light.
So what's your pleasure, commissioners?
I vote for a stop sign.
I guess that would have to go back to the engineer, no? To approve a stop sign? I don't think we can make,
We can, I mean,
Yeah, we can.
they requested
We can make a
or some type of traffic control there, right, at Barnum and Hallett.
Right.
A stop sign, wouldn't that be considered a traffic control signal?
I think, so, right? Unless Lieutenant.
Yes, it is, commissioners.
Okay.
I think by the way it was worded, it says control signal. It's giving me the impression of a light of some sort. He would have defined stop sign by name. The way I've read other requests, the
Right,
installation of a stop sign, is his usual terminology. This
Yeah.
traffic signal could either be a
Could be
stop light,
anything.
flashing, one of those single flashing yellow lights, like slow down.
right.
Commissioners, the original request was for a signal or some type of stop. So it was a signal with lights from Commissioner Valle or Councilmember Valle and Nieves was the original request. That they are at this point looking for some type of stop control device, at this location.
I don't know. With
I
the,
think we can ask ourselves, can we live with the fact that if we make a recommendation for a stop sign, I mean, it's better than having no signal control.
Mhm.
And so,
the only other alternative is to put a light there that's functional during the day and actually causes people to come to a complete stop, because it is busy during the day. But in the evening, I don't see any purpose or reason to have a stop light there. Maybe a stop sign, but certainly not.
Mhm. I agree.
Mr. Travis, I agree with you.
If I could throw another comment / remark into this, in Stanford or Norwalk, you know what they would put there? A speed hump, and that would solve everything.
Mhm.
And we've gone down
well,
that road.
we've gone that route already.
Oh, we have. No, we have, but
That's
you
not
hear what I'm
happening.
saying? A speed hump makes perfect
I
sense.
too.
Don't
Yeah.
stop, you gotta go slow.
Yeah.
Stanford and Norwalk, they're everywhere. I'm a marshal. I'm all over Stanford and Norwalk. It amazes me. There could be two between Seaview and Hallett, or Seaview and Pembroke, just to go slow. But we don't do that here.
So what are you suggesting, Commissioner Lyons? We should strongly
Yeah.
recommend those speed bumps?
I'm big at it. It makes you slow down.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, of course
It
it-
makes you slow down. They're
I
everywhere.
agree.
So why everywhere but not here? It's not like they're nowhere. And it's just a wish.
Right.
They're giving us the reason for their prohibition here in Bridgeport a number of times. And I don't know whether it's snow plows, whether it's whatever it is, whatever excuses they gave us in the past.
But it works in other municipalities, right? Our major cities, Stanford, Norwalk, they're everywhere, everywhere.
There's no better city than Bridgeport, Connecticut.
I agree.
Oh, and I agree.
Hey, Bridgeport, come on,
It's
every
right
other
there.
city.
There is one on Lakeside Drive. There is one on Lakeside Drive, because when they would come
Lakeside
around,
Drive?
they put one on Lakeside
Right.
Drive, only because somebody got killed.
Right. Yeah, I remember that a while back.
Well, I don't think they want to go back to speed bumps, to be honest with you. It would just set a precedent for then other requests for speed bumps that I don't know the reason why they want to avoid it altogether. But if it's an ideal situation in this case, I don't know. Let's suggest it if we prefer that versus a stop sign.
All right, so are we prepared to put a stop sign there, or do we want to table it to determine whether or not to make a distinction between the stop sign and the light, you know, whether we should have the light versus the stop sign? Ready to go forward with just putting a stop sign there.
Are you doing away with the speed bump then?
Oh, we already know that's a,
That's why it's,
Even consider it.
No, they have those at the Lake Forest.
Well, the one benefit that we have is that right now, school is not, there's no schedule as to a starting date. That's actually the biggest population we have to be careful of in that area, is those kids going to school and coming home. But I have no problem either or right now. I'd like to see something go up there. But again, we have the luxury of not, of maybe having another month or something before I have to do anything. So it's something that we could converse on further, or either way, I'd find, I have no problem putting a stop sign there.
No, you know what? A month from now, school will start. If they're going to proceed with the fall
It's your guarantee.
process, right? And sometimes that's not even long enough to put up a stop sign, according to city workers. So we need to vote on something versus nothing.
Okay.
sounds like you're making a motion. Oh, Commissioner Lyon, you said stop sign?
if we're gonna do something, yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
there's it's not like there's one, Pembroke is two streets away, so we've seen that before in the city, every other block. I see it on Wayne Street over here between
Yeah,
Clark and,
I agree.
Sounds like somebody's about to make a motion.
Okay. Commissioner Lyons is making a motion.
I make a motion to install a stop sign on Barnum and Hallett. Is it two-way?
Yes.
North end.
Yeah, right. I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So basically, we denied the engineers suggestion that we not approve it, and we put a stop sign. Is that okay, Lieutenant? You got that?
Yes, it is, sir.
Thank you.
I have it.
That being said, we adjourn our regular Board of Police Commissioners meeting and reconvene as the Board of Trustees for the Police Relief Fund. Accept the motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so we reconvene as the trustee of the Police Relief Fund. Roll call of commissioners.
Lyons,
Camino.
Cruz,
Diaz.
Cruz.
All right. The request of the only request we have is request of Mrs. Tommy Lawson to receive a widow's pension effective immediately under Pension Plan A.
So be it.
Second,
second.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. You good, Lieutenant?
Yes, so I'll be sending out my agenda and reminder on Friday, and we will see everyone at 6 p.m. on July 28th.
I
Okay.
miss you guys.
Motion to
Okay, thank
adjourn
you.
from the Board of Trust, the trustee of the Police Commission, trustee of the Police Relief Fund.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a great night, everyone. See you.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Okay, have a
Take
good
care,
day.
guys. Nice seeing you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.